Hi, I'm Patty Ann. Welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to show you how to use your rigid heddle loom to make some fabric and then to make that fabric into a little zippy bag. They're just darling. Here's the one that I have for an example. It's just a little zippy bag. It's got a green lining fabric. Here's another one that I made. It's got a bright pink lining. So let's go over to the cutting table and I'll show you what you need to get started. Okay, some of the things that you'll need are a scarf that you may have woven and maybe you've decided you don't like. This one I wove out of sock yarn, and ribbons. And I've already begun cutting it up because it was my first sample. Or here's some that was wool that was actually hand spun wool that I'm going to cut up and make into some sort of a bag. So you can use hand spun wool. Today I'm going to use this scarf. I'm going to cut this up, or this piece of fabric, and I'm going to cut this one up. So I need the piece of woven fabric, and I need a lining fabric. This time I'm going to use this cotton that I think coordinates nicely with that. And you'll also need a 7-inch zipper. If you have a longer zipper, that's okay because you can cut it off, but you'll need at least a 7-inch zipper. You'll need something like, I'm not sure if it's Wonder Under, but what I use is this thing called Heat and Bond Light. It's an iron-on adhesive. And you buy it in a package like this, and it's actually a roll that you unwind to use. And we'll also need an iron, and of course any old size iron will work, but I just love this little iron. And an ironing surface, of course. And what I really like to use is I like to use my cutting mat, one of these rulers, and a rotary cutter. But that's not necessary. You can use scissors. Those would work also. Okay, so let's get started cutting. We're going to get our woven fabric out and we'll begin. Okay, we're over at the cutting mat and I have my fabric that is woven, and I'm going to first trim off the ends of it. And I'm just going to line up my ruler and just with my rotary cutter, just going to zip right down here and cut those ends off like that. Okay. All right. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this fabric so that it's about 7 inches by 15 inches. So let's see how wide it is. It's this way. This is about 8 inches, so I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to have it 8 inches by about 15 inches. So that would be to about right here. Okay, so there's my piece of my woven fabric that is about 8 inches by 15. I'm just going to carefully fold it up and place it to the side. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lining fabric and do the same thing with it. I'm going to make a piece that's approximately 7 inches by 15. So let's see, I think what I'll do first is to cut off this selvage. Edge. And then I'm going to measure this about 15 inches long, or 15 inches long, not even about, but 15 inches long, and cut. Then I'm going to take this piece that's 15 inches long and make it 7 inches wide. And I could probably use a little bit longer ruler, but I think I'll get this to work okay. So I want it to be, actually what I could do is fold my cloth in half like this, and that will make it easier to work with. So it's 15 inches long by 7 inches wide. Okay, so this is the piece that I need for this. So again, it's 7 inches wide by 15 inches long. Set this aside with my woven piece. And the last thing I'm going to do is take my Heat and Bond light and unroll it and cut a piece that's the same. I need the piece of the Heat and Bond light that's 7 by 15. I need the lining piece that is about 7 by 15, and I need my piece of woven fabric that's 7 by 15. And let's go over now to the ironing board and I'll show you what to do next.